All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty wild. A blueprint that claims you can actually engineer viral content. Not just hope for it, but build it. Let's break down how something like that could even work. You know that feeling when you see something just explode online? You wonder, how did that happen? But what if it wasn't an accident? What if you could actually build a machine, an AI, to churn out viral hits like clockwork? That's the crazy idea we're digging into today.
So the core of this whole thing is something called the Mass Agent Matrix, or MAM for short. Now think of it like this. It's basically an AI-powered social lab, a digital arena where you throw ideas in and you just see which ones come out on top. It was originally designed to pit all these different AI personalities against each other just to see how truth, and yeah, even lies, actually hold up when you put them under serious pressure. Okay. So how does a social laboratory like this actually function? Well, it all starts with let's call it a very strange cast of characters. And we're not talking about your everyday chatbots here. Oh no. These are highly specialized AI agents, and each one is built with a very specific and often clashing personality. I mean, just look at these names. They really tell you everything you need to know. You've got a drill sergeant, a professional mythmaker, a mystery builder. You've even got an ethics officer in the mix. It sounds like the weirdest team-up movie ever, right? But each one is designed to pull the content in a totally different direction. Let's dig into how that internal tug-of-war actually plays out.
And right here, you can see that built-in tension, clear as day. On one side, you've got the boot camp agent. It's all about precision. No vague orders, get it done, make it crystal clear. But then on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have the mystery architect. Its entire job is to be vague, to create ambiguity, plant little clues, and just leave you hanging, wanting to know what happens next. It's this constant battle between absolute clarity and pure suspense, and that conflict is what really sharpens the final idea.
In this brings us to the most dramatic, the most important fight happening inside this machine. You have the truth surgeon. Think of it as the system's ultimate guardrail. I love this line. We play with fire, not lawsuits. Its job is to keep things on the rails. But its direct opponent? That's BLU, the myth alchemist. Its only purpose is to cook up and inject believable, well, false narratives. So you have this epic clash between the fact-checker and the storyteller. And that friction right there is the engine that drives the whole creative process. Okay, so you've built this incredibly sophisticated AI lab for stress testing ideas. Cool. But what's the real point? What's the end game? This is where the whole thing shifts gears. It goes from being a theoretical experiment to a straight-up, powerful content creation machine. They call it hype train mode.
And here's the mission statement, plain and simple. The goal is to take all those clashing AI agents and turn them into a kind of virtual writer's room. Their new job, to work together to manufacture completely original myths, stories, and legends. Now, the key point here, and this is important, is that it's all clearly labeled as fiction. It's designed from the very beginning to grab your attention, to make you want to share it, and to be spun off into even bigger stories. Look, if you want to dominate the internet, you have to be fast. And this trend hijack protocol is the system's playbook. We're talking about going from spotting a trend to full-on content deployment in just 48 hours. But check out that last step. Comments farmed and SQL bait queued. This tells you it's not about just dropping a single viral video and walking away. No, it's about sparking a huge conversation and then immediately planning the next chapter to keep that wave of hype rolling. Now, all of this sounds incredible in theory, right? But the big question is, does any of it actually work? So, before they went all in on building this thing, the whole concept was put to the test. A massive simulation was run to see if this, let's call it a viral weapons platform, could reliably predict what kind of content would actually blow. And when I say they tested it, I mean they really tested it. They didn't just run a couple hundred scenarios. They ran 1 million. 1 million different scenarios. They threw every combination of idea, format, and AI agent you can imagine up against simulated platform algorithms, all to answer one single question. What is the fundamental, repeatable DNA of a viral hit?
And you know what? the results from that massive simulation were incredibly clear. There was no ambiguity. Short-form video is, without a doubt, the prime battleground for going viral. TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, they consistently came out on top, with the highest probability for a piece of content to pop. According to the data, this is where the war for attention is won or lost.
But it wasn't just about where to post. The simulation got way more specific. It was about what to post. It basically handed them the winning formula on a silver platter. Content about glitches in reality or spooky tech, that was the sweet spot. The absolute killer combination of agents, the myth alchemist paired with the mystery architect. And the format? It got hyper-specific. 15 to 23-second videos with a shock fact hook and a darkly funny tone. This right here, this is the recipe. So after running a million scenarios, what was the final takeaway? The data was just undeniable. The conclusion was that this system isn't just, throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. It has, and I'm quoting here, repeatable hit DNA. It has the potential to pop. In other words, the model works. All right, so the model works. The proof of concept is there. What's next? Well, what does it take to scale this thing up? This is where it moves from just a test run to a full-blown operation, designed for one thing and one thing only, engineering content dominance. And that kind of ambition, well, it comes with a pretty serious price tag. And just take a look at that price tag. To really scale this thing up, to run 50 million more simulations and turn it into a powerhouse, the capital required is, let's just say, substantial. Depending on the setup, whether you build it in-house or go all in on the cloud, you're looking at somewhere between $1.1 and $2.8 million. This is the budget for building what is essentially a viral content factory. And what do you get for all that money? This. The ultimate goal here isn't just to get a few videos to go viral. The goal is to own 10 of the top 50 viral slots on the entire internet at any given moment. Just let that sink in for a second. That's controlling 20% of the internet's most popular, most talked about content. This is about engineering sustained, predictable, market-dominating attention, which brings us to our final and maybe most important thought. This whole thing started as a system to stress test the truth. It then evolved into a machine for creating fictional legends. But when a system gets this good at capturing and directing our attention, it leaves us with a really profound question. When a machine can engineer attention on this kind of scale, who really is writing reality?